Welcome to Nkari's quest, the journey of ancient mysteries and secrets.
The sun is just rising, casting a warm glow over the thatched huts and the nearby forest. The atmosphere is serene, with birds chirping in the background. A curious and eager Nkari walks toward his grandfather, Ada, who is seated under the large ancient tree at the center of the compound. With excitement, Nkari said, "Grandpa, today in class, the teacher told us about the ancient Egyptian god Bez. She said Bez means cat in Nubian, and I couldn't help but think of the stories you've told me about Ngbe, the leopard. Is there a connection?" Ada smiled, a glimmer of pride in his eyes. "Ah, Nkari, your mind is sharp. There is indeed a connection. The leopard, known as Ngbe in our Ejagam language, has always held great significance. The world may know of Bes or the goddess Bast, but the roots trace back to Ngbe, the mighty one." Nkari's eyes widened with curiosity. "But why is Ngbe so important, Grandpa?" Ada paused, gathering his thoughts, and then spoke with a sense of reverence. Ngbe is not just an animal. It represents power, wisdom, and the seat of authority. In our traditions, the leopard is regarded as the king, the symbol of leadership. Our ancestors believed that the spirit of Ngbe was the essence of true kingship. Even today, African kings wear leopard skins, a tradition that began with our people. As the evening shadows lengthened, Ada's voice took on a tone of deep reverence, shifting to an even older tale, one that stretched back to a time before Egypt's pyramids rose from the desert sands. Nkari, perched on the edge of his seat, leaned closer, drawn into the gravity of his grandfather's words. "Long ago," Ada began, his gaze distant as though peering into the very fabric of history, "Ngbe was not merely a place. It was the seat of government and the courts, where laws were forged and justice was weighed with the utmost care. It was a sacred ground, where the spirits of leadership convened, and its power was embodied by none other than Ngbe, the leopard. This was a time when the balance of governance reflected the order of nature itself. The strength of the jungle mirrored in the strength of leadership." Nkari's eyes widened, the wonder unmistakable in his youthful expression. "You mean there was a place where laws were made because of Ngbe?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper, as though speaking too loudly might shatter the spell of the story. Ada nodded solemnly. "Yes, exactly. Ngbe was a place of great authority, where the wisdom of our ancestors intertwined with the power of the leopard to maintain order. The kings of the earth sought recognition and validation at Ngbe. Ngbe, which was known as the most high place on earth, is where Atal is found. While Atal translates to stones, it mystically signifies the highest. Ngbe's influence extends beyond a physical location. It was where balance and justice were defined. The name Ngbe is also popular among Bantu-speaking people of Central Africa and the Congo. The name resonates through various languages and cultures, manifesting also as Yankpe or Inyambe among the Ejagam, Ayamba in Efik, Nzambi in Bakongo, Nyame in Akan, Yahweh in Hebrew, and so on. In Igbo culture, Eringbe refers to long, long time ago in the civilization of Ngbe. Ngbe stood as a symbol of harmony, divinity, and authority, a sacred ground where the laws of the land and the very essence of kingship were established. This place, Ngbe, also inspired the concept of the pantheon in other lands. It was the original court, a meeting of powers that shaped the world. "Pantheon?" Nkari echoed, his curiosity piqued further. "Like the stories of the Greeks?" "Yes, my child." Ada's voice softened, almost conspiratorial, as though revealing a great secret. From Ngbe, the idea of the pantheon spread far beyond our lands. It was here that the notion of gods and rulers convening in one place took root. And do you know the name Panther that people use for the leopard today? It comes from this very place, linked to Ngbe, the mighty leopard. The Greeks borrowed the idea, naming their supreme beings after a concept they only partially understood. But it all started here, with Ngbe in Ngbe, the seat of the first courts. Nkari's jaw dropped, his face a portrait of astonishment. So, the Panther is really Ngbe? Ada Ita's lips curved into a knowing smile, a smile that held centuries of wisdom. Exactly, Nkari. The Greeks borrowed not just the idea of the pantheon, but also the symbolism of the leopard, which they called Panther. But it was here, with Ngbe, the king of both the jungle and the courts, that it all began. Nkari sat back, his mind reeling with the enormity of the revelation. The ancient world seemed to open up before him, its roots interwoven with the stories of his people. A small smile tugged at the corner of his lips as he realized just how deep the legacy of Ngbe and Ngbe ran, far beyond the borders of their homeland, into the very heart of human civilization. As the evening breeze stirred the leaves, Ada Ita stretched his hand out and began tracing symbols on the ground. The soft rustle of the earth beneath his fingers was the only sound, and Nkari's eyes followed the movements with rapt fascination. Each line and curve seemed to breathe life into the ancient script unfolding before him. Nkari leaned closer, his curiosity piqued. "What are you drawing, Grandpa?" Ada Ita's voice was a low, reverent murmur, carrying the weight of centuries. "These are symbols from Nsibidi, the first writing system created by the Ejegum people. Nsibidi was more than just a way to communicate. It was a language of the spirit, a means to convey deeper truths that words alone could not express. So, Nsibidi was created by our people, by those who understood Ngbe." Nkari's voice brimmed with awe, his gaze fixed on the intricate symbols taking shape in the dirt. Ada Ita nodded, his fingers pausing over the last symbol, as though feeling the energy within it. "Yes, my child, Nsibidi carries the wisdom of our ancestors, and even today, it is used by Ngbe society members." As the sun began its descent, casting a golden hue over the compound, Ada Ita lifted his gaze from the ground, his expression thoughtful. Nkari remained silent, absorbing every word, every symbol, every nuance of the story being etched not just into the earth, but into his very being. "Ngbe is not just a story, is it, Grandpa?" Nkari's voice was barely a whisper, a note of reverence underscoring his words. "It's our legacy." Ada Ita's face softened, a proud smile forming as he looked at his grandson. "Yes, Nkari, Ngbe is our legacy, a gift from our ancestors. It is a reminder of the power within us and the importance of preserving our traditions. The world may change, but the spirit of Ngbe remains, guiding us as it has guided our people for centuries." Nkari lifts his gaze, a fire kindling in his eyes. "I will learn more, Grandpa. I want to understand Ngbe and keep its spirit alive." Ada Ita reached out and placed a gentle hand on Nkari's shoulder, his touch warm with encouragement. "That's the spirit, my boy. Never forget who you are and where you come from. The spirit of Ngbe lives in you, as it does in all of us." The last light of day bathed them in a soft glow, two figures framed against the twilight sky, generations bound by the strength of their shared heritage. In the heart of the Ejegum land, the spirit of Ngbe continues to thrive, passed down from one generation to the next. As long as there are those who remember, the legacy of Ngbe will never fade.